Have you ever felt unwell, but the thought of visiting the doctor and having to use Portuguese made you feel even worse? It sucks to be ill away from home, and contending with a language barrier is the last thing that you want. So in today's video, I want to prepare you with the phrases and vocabulary you will need if you need to visit the doctor in Portugal. It can really make a difference to your experience. Here is my student Therese talking about how when she visited the hospital, she was able to navigate the way in and how to work everything really easily, and even helped somebody else do it who was struggling. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz and I help people who are relocating or retiring to Portugal to get confident and conversational in Portuguese in a matter of months. So if you need to learn practical Portuguese in plain English, then you have come to the right person. So we need to start with booking an appointment. I do have a whole video on how to book appointments here. I will link it in the description and you can watch it next for a fuller account of how to do this. But here are a few phrases that will get you started. The first one is I want to book an appointment, please. Quero marcar uma consulta, por favor. Quero marcar uma consulta, por favor. Now, next you're going to have to work out when that is going to be, and to do this you need to use this really long word. Let's say it together, broken down into syllables. Disponibilidade. Disponibilidade. This means availability. So I could ask, for example, do you have any availability for this week? Tem disponibilidade para esta semana? Tem disponibilidade para esta semana? Don't forget to use a nice nasal "ein" at the end of tem. Just because you can see an M there doesn't mean we are going to say it. If you need a recap on how to do the nasal sound, you can check out this video here. Or you can download my free pronunciation guide, which is linked in the description, and it helps you out with sounds just like this. So something that you may be asked for is your número de utente. Número de utente. Now, this is your ID number that you will be using if you are accessing the National Health Service. So obviously you can only give this if you have it. If you don't have it yet, if you're recently arrived, your travel insurance may cover this, but you would just need to pay as a private patient, or you can of course visit a private hospital or clinic. But if you do have the number, you can give it like this. O meu número de utente é. O meu número de utente é. And then of course you're going to need to practice your numbers, and yes, I do have a video on that as well. I will link it in the description. So an example of this conversation might go like this.
Clínica Saúde Viva. Bom dia.
Bom dia. Quero marcar uma consulta, por favor.
Claro. Tem preferência por algum dia?
Tem disponibilidade para esta semana?
Esta semana já estamos completos, mas temos vagas na próxima segunda-feira ou quarta-feira. Qual prefere?
Segunda-feira, por favor.
Muito bem. Está marcada para segunda-feira às 10 horas. Qual é o seu número de utente?
O meu número de utente é 123 456 789.
Obrigada. Ficamos então à sua espera na segunda às 10.
Obrigado. Até logo.
So the next stage will be checking in at the reception. Here's what you can say. Bom dia, which is of course your greeting, good day, but if it's the afternoon, so like past 12 p.m, you can say boa tarde. Tenho uma consulta. Tenho uma consulta. I have an appointment. And then you're going to give the name of the doctor. So for example, com o Dr. Silva. Com o Dr. Silva. They're probably going to ask you for your ID at this point, so you can say aqui está o meu cartão de cidadão. Aqui está o meu cartão de cidadão. More of those nasal sounds, so proof that you really do need to practice this and be good at that nasal sound to sound good in this context. If it looks pretty busy and you want to find out how long the wait time is, you can ask quanto tempo de espera? Quanto tempo de espera? So next up, when you get into the doctor, you are of course going to have to explain your symptoms, your sintomas. Sintomas. So the most likely thing that you're going to say is tenho, I have. Tenho, tenho. Make sure you're doing a nice oo sound at the end there. So here are some examples of things that you might have. Febre, febre, fever. Dor, dor. This is pain, and then you could of course specify the area of the body it is. It might be de cabeça or de garganta. If you have had that horrible winter flu that has been going around at the moment, you may have arrepios, arrepios, which are shivers. Something else you might need to say instead is I feel, okay? So this is sinto-me, sinto-me. It feels weird that the me comes at the end, but that's where the pronoun goes in this case. So some examples of that could be sinto-me tonto, or sinto-me enjoado, or even sinto-me cansado. Just don't forget to change the ending of those adjectives to be an A if you are female. They might ask you how long you have been feeling like this. So you could say, for example, há 3 dias que me sinto assim. Há 3 dias que me sinto assim. I have felt like this for 3 days. Next up, we need to understand the doctor's questions and instructions. So some common questions the doctor might ask are, onde dói? Onde dói? Where does it hurt? Then the one that we just learnt the answer to, há quanto tempo tem esses sintomas? They might ask if you've taken any medication. Já tomou algum medicamento? That's the word for medication, medicamento. Some of the instructions to help you feel better might be descanse bastante. Descanse bastante. This comes from the verb descansar, which is to rest. So this is get lots of rest. They'll probably also say beba muita água. Drink lots of water. You might need an antibiótico. Antibiótico. In which case they might say, for example, vou receitar-lhe antibiótico. And of course, tell you to come back if you don't get better. Deve voltar, come back. Deve voltar, se não melhorar. Melhorar means to improve or to get better, so that's why you can spot the word better inside that verb. The 2 most common painkillers that you will be prescribed are, of course, ibuprofen and paracetamol, but the brand names for those here in Portugal that you might want to listen out for are Brufen and Benuron. If you found this helpful and you want more real-life Portuguese practice, check out my beginners workshop, which is linked in the description. We will cover the most essential pronunciation tips and also the essential grammar that you need to really get started with Portuguese conversation. It's free, it's 60 minutes, and I would love to see you there. I'll be back next week with more tips and tutorials to improve your confidence and conversation skills in European Portuguese, so I hope to see you there. Ciao for now.